Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashton. For the past couple months, I've been using my bullet journal exclusively. I'm really enjoying having all of my planning in one notebook, especially as I do some traveling this summer. So I wanted to share an update on how I'm planning in the middle of 2022. And I think the best way to illustrate this is just to flip through my journal pages with you. So let's just jump in and get started. This is a bullet journal edition 2. This particular notebook I really enjoy. I started using this in 2021, so I do have quite a few pages from last year that are in here, and then for 2022 I just kind of picked up where I left off. So I'm going to go ahead and flip into the middle of the book where I began in 2022. So I started using this notebook again in May, and the first thing I did is set up a couple of future log pages you can see here, and I just hand wrote my calendars and dates in. I just divided the page in two, and I just wanted to get going really quickly, so I think this is a good simple setup for a future log. And then I did set up a cycle tracker. It's something I like to have in any planner. I set it up for the entire year just so I can see patterns over the entire year. And I have a little color code here. And then we just jump into the month of May. So I do the typical bullet journal index here where you list out the dates and then the day of the week. And I just write down anything that's happening upcoming, and I try to backfill in as well. And for each month, my setup is pretty much like this. I do some form of a habit tracker, a to-do list, my goals. And then in this month, I had some extra space here for lists. So I think this was the first day that I actually started writing in the journal was April 27th. I kind of just go in order of the days and use as much of the page as I feel like I need to. And then of course I started to fill in the extra space with some drawing. And this is what I love about the bullet journal for me, is that it can be both very productive and focused, but also be a creative outlet, which I think just keeps me motivated to keep going. I created a bills tracker, and then I slowly started adding other things like goals and cleaning tasks that I want to do every month. Just a collage of some images that I printed out from Pinterest. And a brainstorming page. I have a few of these throughout my journal and they're kind of messy. We have a couple collections. My husband was traveling for work and he was going to be gone for almost a whole month, so I created a brainstorming page for that, and then I decided to kind of renovate our bathroom, so I did a plan for that. And then a lot of my daily pages look like this, so I'll just divide the pages into two and then use one column for each day. And then I started to find that I had a lot of leftover space, so I would either doodle or journal in that space. And I liked this because I could kind of do a version of a rolling weekly by just folding the page like this, so that way I could see my weekly list at any point. I kind of reassessed my goals at this point, and I feel like 5 months into the year, that was a good time to reassess my yearly goals because I had actually met a lot of them already. I was listening to a podcast called Minimalish, and there was an episode 122 that inspired me to write down like the things that I've actually done this year, values and habits that I want to build, and then brainstorm out more goals for the rest of the year. More daily pages. And I tried to just stick to a color scheme that was inspired by some of the stickers from my shop. So you'll see stickers throughout, and this was from my Frolic collection, so I just tried to choose some of my markers that would match those colors and just do a color scheme. And I don't really do a whole lot to set up the week in advance, which is nice for me because I know I can do it every week and it's very achievable. So pretty much what I do is I'll just write out dates and then stamp the date. And I do get a lot of questions on my date stamp. I will link it below for you, but it is just this date stamp right here. And it's really great because it's self-inking. It's very small and portable, so it's just perfect for journaling and stamping the date as you go. I started to track some habits on a weekly basis as well. And then I love to just do these pages. Like if I feel creative, I like to just be able to draw something, and it's really fun that I can just do that at any point. I also try to do a monthly reflection every month. And this one was, I think, getting close to Memorial Day, so I tried to do like red and blue. And then lots of drawings. I was at this point deciding I don't think I need a full column for each day because obviously I'm not using all the space. So I changed that up going forward. And then June, I do have a plan with me on this page and this month setup, but I did sort of Jurassic Park theme. And this is my favorite part. That was really fun to draw, and I'm happy with how this page turned out. I actually tried doing a sleep and mood tracker for the first time, and a habit tracker as well. And then this is another fun one. I just kind of let myself have fun with drawing dinosaurs and the vehicle from the movie, and then a painting that I did. I drew like a little thumbnail of it. That was kind of fun. And then I got my husband actually to draw this for me, and then I colored it in. I love that bullet journaling can just adapt to whatever I need at the time. Like I had to give my dog some medications, and so I just threw that right into the weekly and kept going. I started a wish list, but interestingly, after I made this page, I just have not thought of anything that I want to add to it, which is kind of funny. I started doing my own manicures, so I wrote down all the steps because at first it was a lot for me to remember and wrap my head around it, and I started listing out the different colors that I have. And then I did start doing these small boxes for the day, so that way you could fit an entire week on 2 pages. Sometimes I tend to run out of space though, so I changed things up yet again. A June reflection, and then July was very fun to draw out. I wanted to do like sort of a tattoo theme. I wanted to do something for the 4th of July, but I didn't want to just do like crazy red and blue everywhere. So I thought the tattoo theme was kind of fun because I could incorporate some of those colors, but also just do other floral doodles and things that I like. This one was fun to draw. And then for my monthly, I just left an entire page for the log. And then I'm trying something new here, which is a sleep and energy and habit tracking log. It looks kind of complicated, but it makes sense to me. So the colorful highlighting is sleep hours, and then this line is my mood. And then at the bottom, I kind of as an afterthought threw in habits that I wanted to track. So I just used like an abbreviation that makes sense to me down here, or a symbol, so that I could track them in a vertical column there. So I think I'll do this in the future, but I might like change it a little bit to make it make more sense visually, but it's working for me for now. And then these weeklies, so all I did at this point was I just would draw a line in advance, like this. And so you can see I've already drawn these out. Then what I can do is just write the date, stamp the date, and then use however much space I need. So like for Monday, there was almost nothing. Tuesday, Wednesday took up a lot of space, and then Thursday. So I can kind of just go as I need to. And I think this is probably what works the best for me, is just allowing myself to date the page as I go and not like setting out a allotted amount of space for each day ahead of time. Another mind map. I love to do these mind maps for goals or just anything that I need to kind of wrap my head around. So there's a day that actually did take up a whole half a page, but I'm realizing that's kind of rare. A lot of days I don't actually write a ton. And then we get into the current page that I'm on. This is a sticker from a sampler from my shop, and it's also in the new journaling kits that I'm going to put in my shop next week, which I'm really excited about. And then this is stickers from one of those journaling kits. So since I've been bullet journaling so much, I wanted to make some stickers that were a little bit more open-ended and had a variety of boxes to use. And so far I'm really enjoying it. So I just created like sort of a happiness gratitude page with things that I'm currently loving. And that is the last page. So those are my past couple of months in my bullet journal. As far as supplies, I did share the date stamp. Tombow markers are my next used item, or they may be my most used item. I love just selecting a couple of colors, and I did create a key in the back here, so that will make it easier for me to pick out the colors each week, because I can just look here and see how the colors actually look on this paper, so that's been helpful. My favorite pen, and the pen that I do all of my lists and journaling with, is the Pilot G205. And then as far as any of my lettering, like days of the week or anything like that, and all of the drawings, actually, I use this pen. And I like this pen because it is waterproof, so I can actually like draw something and then quickly color it in with my Tombow markers, and it's not going to smudge. And this is just the Tombow Brush Pen. There are two versions of this pen. One is green, one is blue, and the green one is a softer tip. The blue one is a harder tip, and I prefer this one. I think it's just easier to control with my style of lettering and drawing. So those are the most used supplies. I also do sometimes use watercolor in here, and this journal holds up really well. So for example, like these drawings were just drawn with my Tombow and then colored in with the Tombow markers. And then I drew these also with the Tombow markers, but then I went in with like gold gel pen, Tombow colorful brush markers, and then I actually filled this in with watercolor, and this is watercolor as well. So there's absolutely like no issue with bleeding through or shadowing or anything like that. If you use a lot of water, there's like a slight amount of buckling, but to me, it hasn't been a problem. I actually have a page that I did up here where I went back in here, this page, so I colored in around it, and this is all watercolor. So I used a ton of watercolor on the page, and there's like a little bit of buckling, but once you let it dry and close the book, it goes completely flat again. So I'm really happy with that. I kind of feel like I can use any materials that I like in this journal, so that's really fun. I think that's all I have to say about my journal at this point. So that concludes my planner update. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye!